I'm George Walker, the newly elected president of the council, and we're here today to say that things such as this should not have happened. And we are going to do all we can to prevent this from happening again. Now, we know that some things we can control, some things we can't. But it boils down to protocol. No matter what type of business you're running, everybody has an SOP, standard operational procedures. And we feel like CHA should not only notify all residents of public housing, Section 8, government subsidized housing, period, in a timely manner on anything that's going to affect the livelihood. Now, we also understand that this property here is somewhat up for grabs. Some private people are trying to purchase it. We've heard condos, other business aspects, possible industrial type. However, the agency has a 5-year plan, CHA's annual 5-year plan that was supplemented to HUD back in October, has contingency plans for 2013 for, named in the plan, East Lake Courts, College Hill Courts. What those plans are, we don't exactly know yet. Once again, there hasn't been a notification on what those plans are. That's why I feel like it's time to start asking the tough questions, because we feel like the residents should know what's going on and what's going to affect their living quarters as well as their livelihood. The three indications are for East Lake and College Hill Courts. Number one, demolition. Number two, disposition or sale. Whichever one it is, it's going to affect those residents. And the main question right now is whether you demolish, sell, or what have you. Even if you decide to keep the property and remodel, where are you going to put these residents while all of this is going on? And we're talking close to 1,000 for those two subdivisions, East Lake as well as College Hill Courts. Now, the other sites in town, there are only 4 sites that has an open waiting list. Everything else is closed. Boynton Terrace, waiting list is open. College Hill Courts, once again, there we go with College Hill Courts. Now, we still don't know what those plans are, but you got a waiting list. Gateway Towers and Mary Walker. Now, East Lake closed, Emma Wheeler Homes closed, Cromwell closed, Scattered Site D Drive, which is Greenwood, and those waiting lists are closed, so they're not taking any applications whatsoever. Once again, where are we going to put these people if this occurs? So once again, like I said, it's time to get some answers. And I feel like, you know, you can do business in a proper perspective, but when you're just doing business to benefit you, what about the ones that are being affected? Regardless of what lifestyle they had before they moved to public housing, they're still residents of this city and still pay taxes in some form or another. So that is the main purpose, one of the main purposes, why CityWide is back into effect, so that we can be the authoritative voice for the residents. And we are trying to encourage each development to have their own resident council, where they can hold a monthly meeting with the residents to come out and explain and tell them, you know, what's going on. what kind of problems you're having, whether you're having problems with management, maintenance, security issues, or what have you. Therefore, we can take those questions straight to CHA and get answers. So right now, I have several of my staff members here. Real quick, I'm going to let Joe Clark speak briefly. He is our senior advisor, and he can give you the in-depth details real quick on why we're doing what we're doing.
Well, my problem is this: what has happened, we got 4,800 people out of a place to live, and what we wanted to come up with, we wanted to come up with the idea: if you take college year or any other year, East Lake course, anything to that degree, we'd like to have at least one person. If you make them into condos, we'd like to have some replacement for the people that you got there. Give them something to go with. And with the amount of money that's being produced, as far as the residents are concerned, it makes it kind of hard for them to come downtown. We feel like if the city opens up downtown, and some of the residents are trying to find somewhere to live, they're unable to try to pay $700, $800 as far as rent is concerned. This is one reason why we're trying to get together. The old CityWide used to be in full force. And take for example here, when they take in Harry Tubman, there was supposed to have been something in place for the residents to have something to say about what was going on. Residents didn't have anything to say. If this property, when there was some time when Purposeville came to town, they wanted to take College Hill. Didn't mind them taking College Hill, but we want to know what we're going to put in this place for the replacement of the residents. They didn't have anything in mind then. They said we're going to put schools and shopping centers and things of this magnitude there. But they didn't say what they were going to do with the other 4,800 people that they already had was homeless. So what we're trying to do that, we're not trying to be difficult in what's going on. What we'd like to do is replace, if you put in 10 houses, 10 apartments, then 2 of those should be low income. If they're not low incomes, then what happens to the other 2? They get on the other waiting list along with the other 4,800 people. We're not trying to be difficult about what's going on, just trying to get some kind of understanding about what's going on as far as the city itself is concerned. And Purposeville, like I said, they came to town to buy the property. We don't know who brought them. The mayor brought them to town because he wanted to replace College Hill. And you're talking about crime. There's no more crime in College Hill than there is in Brainerd, where you look at it. Because every time you look around, somebody's getting shot or shot up in Brainerd. You might have some dope dealers in College Hill, but it's a lot different than having a dope dealer than having somebody losing their life. So this is one of the reasons why we're trying to get started back again. Not we're trying to take over anything to that make. Just trying to give the people, the residents, some type of voice. And this is the reason why we're trying to start CityWide. HUD said there should be some type of CityWide or organization to be able to represent the people. So that's one reason why we're doing it. That's just my say on it.
Appreciate it, Mr. Clark. The involvement that we have, we've also developed a relationship with COA, Chattanooga Organized Against. This is Mr. Perrin Lance, who's an affiliate and he's going to update you briefly on some of the other things that took place and that are going to be going on.
Sure, that's not a problem. I'm Perrin Lance. I'm a co-director with Chattanooga Organized for Action, and the first thing that I want to say is that I'm immensely proud of the public housing and subsidized housing residents that today have decided to take the lead in determining the conditions of their own living. These are public housing and subsidized housing residents that are standing up and saying, these are our communities, and these are our homes. We're people and we're citizens too. And they're standing up, and Chattanooga Organized for Action is always willing to lend a hand, always willing to lend educational resources, skills, tools, and training so that their vision for their communities can become more than a dream, it can become reality. So just to kind of give you a real quick update as to what we did, the residents that formed CityWide, from College Hill Courts to East Lake Courts to Mary Walker Towers, all over the city, approached Chattanooga Organized for Action, approached me and said, we want to form a citywide organization. We want to form an organization that has the ability, the legal ability and right to represent all public and subsidized housing residents all throughout the city. And so it's my job as Chattanooga Organized for Action, as community organizers, to give them everything they need to get that job done. For a period of 2 to 3 months, we went all across the city to every public housing development, to many subsidized housing developments under the jurisdiction of the CHA. We knocked on doors, we met with resident council leaders, we sat down one-on-one, we listened to their concerns, we listened to their problems, and we said, you know what the answer to this is? The answer is a citywide organization, which George has taken the lead to be the president of. We decided that this is what we're going to do, and Cole was there to help every way, but the true people that are taking the lead of it is not Chattanooga Organized for Action. It's citywide. It's the residents themselves. That's the point of community organizing. That's the point of why we're here doing what we're doing today. Just to give you a real quick, another reason why we're forming this organization, why the residents have formed it. Poverty, homelessness, lack of access to grocery stores, all of these issues disproportionately affect public and subsidized housing residents here in Chattanooga. And if there's going to be any way out of it, that way is going to come from the public housing residents themselves. So, I don't know if there's anything else you'd like for me to say or address.
That's well said. I appreciate it. The overall outlook from a personal perspective is we are serious about being able to help make lifestyle changes and conditions for all residents of public housing, Section 8 government housing, subsidized, period. And it's not about us. We're just passing through. But what about the ones that are going to come after us? Gives you something to think about, you know? Something needs to be done, and we're going to try very diligently to get that done. I want to thank you all for coming out to our first press conference. Trust me, there will be more. And real quick, I'm sure everybody has a tight schedule, but I'm going to open the floor. If there are any brief questions, we will try to answer them at this time. If not, we're sharing contact information. Even if there's something you want to get back with me at a later date on, you've got my main contact number and all of that. Any questions? Thanks again for attending. I appreciate it. And the last part of this is I want to say to the media outlets, been there, done that. I spent 32 years in radio myself, and I know how vital the media is to all citizens. And I'd just like to encourage you on what we're trying to do. Hey, it's time out for the fun and games. Let's go ask those tough questions and get some answers and results. Thank you again.